Good morning. Everybody slept well? Recovered from the assessment? So we're going to go over your results today, and I want to talk a little bit about what all this means. I just want to kind of preface all this with being aware that racing is a dangerous sport. My first experience in racing that was really traumatic was Max was there in 1999. We lost Greg Moore, and I was the first time I ever experienced death at a racetrack. And my best friend Tony Renna lost his life in 2003 at IMS. It happens. Dangerous sport. This isn't like every sport where you can rest for a point or sit down on the bench or just relax. This is a life and death sport. Physical preparation is critical. Reduces your risk of injury, recover faster, it might save your life. So all these areas that we tested today aren't just because we want to see who's the fittest person out here. A lot of these things are habits that you should take on for the rest of your career. Drivers should be great at anything outside of the car. They should be really good at all sorts of activities. That's my advice to you. Everyone has some work to do here, so I think based on these reports, you kind of know where you need to target.
I am surprised at how well everybody did, because these are sim drivers, and sim drivers don't have any G-forces to deal with. You're pushing the brake pedal, the steering, and so I'm impressed with where you guys are. Racing Prodigy is starting today with a track walk. We're looking at Atlanta Motorsports Park, and we're just going to stand on each corner. We're going to drive there and talk about how to do the corner. And it's going to be a combination of the fundamentals of driving cars tied into this racetrack.
Why low-speed corners are very important is because you stay in the corner for a long time. Usually, when I started, I focused on high speed. I wanted to be great. But you are in the corner for such a short amount of time that you cannot make enough of the difference. While if you're in the low-speed corner, you might be 5 seconds into the corner, the duration. In a high-speed corner, maybe a second. What you can gain or lose in a place like this is a lot more. So I would start focusing. If this is the slowest part of the track, that would be my number one focus to start.
Coach, talk to me and let the viewers on YouTube stream around the world know what we're preparing for and what's getting ready to happen.
Yeah, so the drivers are finally going to go out on the racetrack for the first time this week in the SR1s, and we're going to prepare them for how the rest of the event will go, right? So these cars record data, they record video, and when the driver comes in, we're able to pull that from the car, put it into a computer, and go over their session lap by lap, corner by corner. How hard did he brake? When did you go to throttle? Where'd you turn? Right, we can start to kind of pick apart a lap and give them the best way to do it and the most efficient way and the fastest way to go about it.
State of mind is everything. I've done 18 and a half hours of a 24-hour race, right? And the NASCAR race is, 4 hours. But the first time you get in and do one, I remember the first time I did an oval race, I felt like E.T. in the river after. And it was just because I wasn't comfortable. And you're hanging on tight, you're just using all this energy. But when you feel relaxed and let it flow, you're not using the energy. And it'll hit the drive forever.
The promise that several of these drivers have, really all of them, because they're all standouts in the virtual world in what they do. The promise that all of them have is extensive Some will, like every other driver you see come into motorsports, some will leap up to the performance levels very quickly. They just seem to have a natural ability. Others have to study it and work, but they get to the same level. It just takes them a little bit longer. So I expect big things out of all 12 participants.
So you guys now know this is how it looks, now your brain knows how it feels, right? Let it settle in. Think about it. It's like if you press record. Your brain recorded everything you did. You just need to give yourself some time for it to process. If you would just go up now, you would be 30% better just because you just did it. So you know what to expect.